famous last words.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And we are live. Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with some nerdettes, and we're going to be playing our 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Scarlet Sisterhood game. And when we last left off, our valiant adventurers found themselves in a cave in the middle of a swamp, inhabited by 3 old crones. And they had come to this cave seeking something very specific. They needed the Drake Blossom, a rare herb that only the crones have in this region. They need it so the alchemist Sheena from Gryphongaffe can come up with the antidote for the troglodyte breakout that's happened. They had promised the villagers of the village they'd passed through that had gotten infected with this troglodyte poison and mutated some of their village folk that they would do their best to come up with it. So that has led them into this swamp, into this cave. It's eerily lit with green fire. And when we last left off, Daphne had just offered up frozen snake man parts as payment, and Agatha had offered up a necklace that was important to her and it has significance to her personally and from her past. And as you extended your arms out with the necklace, the 3 crones inch forward, and they whisper in a weak voice that rasps, "We require something much more personal." And as they talk, the voice just goes from one crone to the other as they continue the sentence. So it's a little disconcerting because the voice is coming from different directions. And as they each grasp your necklace in one gnarled old hand, you're taken back to a time and place far from here, many moons ago. And do you want to tell us what it is you see as your mind's eye wanders, Samantha?
Yeah.
Agatha.
So suddenly I'm taken back to my village and all my people are around me. And she sees her life story flash before her eyes, basically. And a lot of her great suffering and her trials have led her up to this point of being, away from them. And so she sees, her tribe getting attacked by evil monsters, and she is fighting off chaos, and she's saving her people and the children. And all the time she has these eyes watching her, and as she looks into these eyes, she noticed that it's Megan, her old consort, basically, or not consort, but he was seeking her hand for many years in her tribe, and so he was sort of her pursuer, you could say. And by the end, what happened was her tribe was attacked for like the 3rd or 4th time within a year, and they had lost a lot of lives. And Agatha sees herself becoming a hero, and as she's risen up by her people, these eyes become jealous and hungry, and they want her. And she noticed that it's Megan coming with his people, with his side of the clan, you could say, trying to claim her hand in marriage against her will. And seeing flashes to where she is now surrounded by everyone, and in this sort of forced moment in this marriage, she notices that he's approached her in front of everyone, and in her embarrassment and in her rage, she says to him, "I've turned you down many times, and I told you that I didn't want to be with you." And what she does is she challenges him to a duel, which is something that in my society, in this particular society, wasn't something that was looked at, was very frowned down upon. But she did it anyways, and she ended up breaking his arm and throwing him to the ground. And as he was so embarrassed, the whole town was kind of shook up. And she said, I'm going to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. But until I return, basically watch your back, for I am Agatha Armbreaker. And since that day, she all of a sudden she sees her running away, and she's wearing this necklace, and that's like all she has with her staff and her feathers, and she's running away in tears, and she finally realizes that that's what her destiny kind of came to, and so she flashes back, and now she's in the cave.
So as you guys look on at Agatha, you see her face go through many different expressions, and she's muttering to herself, and the words aren't coherent. You can't actually make out what she's saying, but with each utterance, one of the crones nods their head almost in approval, and that's when you see the slightest of blue wisps of it looks like fog or mist being breathed out of Agatha's mouth and her nose. And you see the hags almost lap at it greedily as they sniff and snuffle the air, and their hands tremble and shake as if they're being intoxicated by it, and you hear them crooning quietly to themselves, yes, yes. And with that, Agatha staggers back with the necklace still in her hands, shaking from some unseen exertion, and the crones themselves are almost vibrating, that they're shaking so hard, and you can feel the excitement just oozing off of them, and as you kind of like snap out of it, Agatha, you're remembering something very important to you, but you can't quite recall what it was. You felt like you've just lived through something that was a climatic moment in your life, but it's just, wherever it was, there's just an empty void there now. And with that, the crones turn as one, and and their voice comes out just a little bit stronger than it was before, each one speaking in turn. Excellent, a third of the price is paid. Who will pay next?
I choose to hide behind the halfling at this point.
and with that, each of the crones shuffle forward to surround Kenna.
All right.
Almost like a pack of eager hounds. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You see a halfling child with a human-sized war drum strapped to her back like a turtle shell. She has wandered away from the caravan into a nearby human settlement that the Umbiway clan has not dared enter. Drizzle. Her honey brown eyes are wide as she peeks around the corner at a man standing in front of a tavern. Huge to Kenna, and impossibly huge to the mastiff puppy that cowers in front of him. Yellowed viscous spittle flies from his lips as he shouts. He lifts a callous, meaty hand covered in hair that bristles across his knuckles. The sound of the pup's pained yelp breaks the air. A few humans pass, side-eyeing the man, but they say nothing. His bulky frame disappears through the tavern door, leaving the pup tied to a post beneath an awning not quite big enough to shield him entirely from the coming storm. He quivers in fear and from the encroaching chill, and runs along the wall like a mouse to the pup's side, staying beneath windows to avoid notice. The two lock eyes for a moment before the pup averts his gaze. Kenna plunges her hand into her pocket to the wrist and produces half a whey-bread biscuit, holding it out to him. It's a little bit stale, and there's some pocket lint attached, but after a cautious sniff, the pup scarfs it down. Let's go. Her little hands undo the knot around his collar, and the pup stands, tail wagging, ready to follow. When they turn to go, they barrel right into a man in a guard's uniform. He grabs Kenna by the wrist. Her face contorts in shock and pain. All right, little thief, the guard begins, but she never finds out what he was going to say. The mastiff pup beside her snarls and snaps, and the guard releases her, clutching his bloody wrist. And he loses his balance. She and the pup do not stick around to find out if he falls. They run until they come to a crawl space under a building near the edge of town, and the two of them hide beneath it, huddling together. Thunder clashes. Both of them are shivering as water begins to fill their hiding space, making it slick with mud. A whole night passes before either of them works up the courage to move. When dawn breaks, Kenna returns to the caravan with Monty covered in mud and bruises. Lala Midge, a little bit younger but still with plenty of gray in her cloud of hair, is the one to greet her. Kenna runs into her arms and immediately breaks down sobbing. The next day, she cleans her wardrobe and fixes it to the lid of an old rain barrel. She finds a stick on the roadside and gives it a couple of swings, posing the way she imagines the heroes in the stories do, and promises her again.
What was that last part?
She gives it a couple of swings, posing the way she imagines the heroes in the stories do, and promises herself that nothing like that will ever happen to her or to Monty ever again.
Okay, so as the crones circle the halfling, Agatha and Daphne watch on as they have a little. Their step is a little bit more spry than it was when you first entered the cave. Monty, at some point, you're not even sure when, has entered and coiled around Kenna's legs as she stands there kind of swaying. And again, she's doing the same thing where her face is contorting in different expressions. Once in a while, one of her small arms comes up as if wielding a sword. And again, you can see her lips moving almost incoherently. And the crones, they just continue the circle and nodding in approval and yes. And as that happens, again, you see that bluish mist, that wisp coming from Kenna's nose and mouth as she exhales. But this time you see something a little different as well. What you see is Monty is kind of like shivering at her feet, and also breathing heavy and panting. And as he breathes, those blue wisps are coming out of mist are coming out from his nostrils as well. And at this point, the hags seem to be reveling in ecstasy as they breathe deeply of these vapors, each taking their own turn and sniffing and snuffling it up deep into their nasal cavities.
I'm going to slowly make my way towards the door.
Yes, this is excellent. And again, Kenna kind of comes to, and for a moment, you don't actually know where you are, and then it comes back to you, and laying at your feet, nearly wrapped around them, is this magnificent dog, and you're not sure where he came from or who he is. But for some reason, you feel this like sense of loss, but at the same time, you also feel comfort, and you don't know why. You know you belong with this dog, and this dog belongs with you, but you just don't know why. And with that, the crones they kind of shuffle away from you and Monty. And Monty's fine; he's there sleeping at your feet. He lifts his head when he hears the noise of the crones shuffling and looks around. And for the onlookers, you see, Kenna and Monty, they lock eyes, and they both have the same puzzled expression on their faces. And there's this you can just see the sense of loss. With
I continue to make steps towards the door.
With that, the crones say, 2/3 have paid. 2/3 have paid.
Okay, that was 3. The dog, my friend, and my stabby friend. That's 3.
The dog and the girl are 1.
Cerberus wants to eat you. Run away!
Want to help people, but
what will it be, gnome? Will you honor your pledge? Will you save those poor people?
We're like, honor the pledge.
As far as you know, they should have no idea about your pledge to help the troglodyte villagers.
You guys are just mean.
This blue smoke is awesome, man.
He sighs reluctantly and just we start walking back up to the crones, and
And they inch forward to you, and they kind of start pulling at your robes. Yes, yes.
That sounds disturbing. They're like, yes, like, crazy.
well,
old lady.
yeah, but is it really Kenna anymore?
Cat.
I don't think. Anyways, yeah, I'll have to. I can't leave the people suffering. So I guess it's my turn then.
It is.
All right. This is about the one tale that the Fixus never really talks about ever. But out of her whole backstory, there is one thing she never liked to talk about. But during her early adventures, she did actually find her father again. And that is a tough tale for her. I'm trying to do it in the narrative, but at the same time, fixing.
It's all right. Take your time.
I'm not sure if I should tell it from the third person or the first person because it's a memory, but at the same time.
Whatever is most comfortable for you.
Alright, well, the Fixus at this point was a fairly well-traveled, not, where she is currently, but had been traveling for a while, gaining some renown as a wizard, so to speak. And, storyteller more than anything, but details. When she came across one of the towns that she had come to recently at that point in her journeys, she had heard about a strange activities happening in various areas in the town. Weird markings left here and there, and not really much to say other than the people who do witness the acts seem to be too horrified to speak much more than those eyes. After investigating many a scene, she eventually came across a group of people wearing robes not unlike the kind that her father had left town in when he had left to join the cult that he had joined. Well, unfortunately for her at this point, her father was well and gone, and had actually eventually found him and was able to try to talk to him because she had heard, about some of the weird things that happened at some of these rituals. Unfortunately, while she was begging and pleading him not to go through with it, she hadn't noticed that a group of the cultists had surrounded her and her father and began chanting. And eventually, as they finished chanting, her father transformed into this huge demonic beast that battered her far away and into a wall. At that point, she was just distraught and ended up casting a spell that ended up effectively knocking out one of his teeth, and in retreat he opened a portal and the cultist went through and she lost her father again, but she had found out what he had become and what was going on with the cultists and what happened to him.
So the same thing, the crones are bent over the small gnome, breathing in this blue mist. And you can see Daphne is physically shaken by whatever is going on. Tears are streaming down her cheeks as she relives losing her father once again. And that's when you hear out of nowheres, and even Daphne from this place where you're at, from the past, you hear this voice shriek out through the cave, "No, mistress!" And Agatha and Megan witness Borch the goblin break through the circle and basically like try and flying tackle Daphne out of the circle. "You can't have her!" But the thing that happens is, instead of bowing her over like you would think, he hits her like a wall and sticks for a moment. And as he exhales from exertion, this blue mist comes out of his mouth and nose as well. And the hags breathe in, and as they do, they exhale, and two shall be one. In your vision, you see your father kind of vanishing, but it's half replaced by a goblin. And the memory has forever been twisted in your mind. And Borch is sitting there shaking, standing there before you as you kind of come through. And he's got this frightened expression upon his face. And he's weeping. And he's weeping. He's saying, and you hear him whispering, "Father, Father, they've taken him again." And you realize that he's living your memory with you. And you can see your own pain mirrored upon his face as Borch drops to his knees. And you feel as if you're connected to him like never before. And the crones begin to cackle. "An extra bonus! An extra bonus! Ah, you young lasses are so generous. 3 for 5. And with that, you guys are all kind of shaken and kind of come to and trying to come to grips with what has happened. And the crones begin shuffling about the cave and going to the 3 different shelves, and they pull out jars, and they hand you the Drake Blossom, and this should be enough for whatever you need. A deal is a deal.
Nice.
What are you guys doing?
Okay. Are we kind of like in a hallucination here, or is it like just the normal state?
You're in a normal state, but everything you just experienced, it's not like a memory. It's as if you relived it again, except for in your case, Samantha, it is completely gone. You don't remember anything. You just have this terrible sense of loss. So as you went through it, you relived it. The same thing with you as well, Megan. And now you're looking at Monty as if you're seeing him for the first time, but you know that's not right. And you can kind of feel the same thing coming back from him as well, as he quietly whimpers to you and is looking around. And Daphne, you feel a connection with Borch that was never there before, and you feel you've experienced something completely different, but your memory, where theirs is gone and missing, yours is there but wrong, and Borch is embedded in it, and he shouldn't be.
So you're telling me I traded my mermaid tail for legs and sacrificed my background for these witches?
That would be a good analogy, yes.
No! God, no!
We came here for those flowers. We really ought to take them and go.
So we're just I'm going to be sort of confused and just like almost really troubled and like touching my head and just like, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's go. Oh my God, let's just get out of here. I feel really weird. I don't want to be here anymore.
Me either.
Come on, Daff. Come on, Goblin. I mean, Borch.
As you guys leave, you hear them cackling behind you. You may come back anytime you like. Bring us more.
Oh no.
There is more where that came from.
If I ever get high enough level.
Delicious.
Tricked us. Sheena's a tricker.
Going to leave. Trying to help Borch out because he's obviously visibly shaken and kind of confused.
Yeah.
Do we
I'm
know?
trying to offer some comfort to this strange dog that I happen to have acquired in here somehow.
Hmm. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. So did we see this happen too with Borch and Daff?
The stuff with Borch you saw, but only this, not the memories. You don't see the memories.
We just see them sort of connecting in a weird way.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the opposite with Megan and Monty, you see almost like a breaking of a connection.
Weird. What about the dog? And does Monty remember Kenna?
He does not seem to.
Weird, because of the memory. It's like gone. Weird. Okay. This was a bad choice. The cave was a bad choice, guys.
So as you guys begin to exit, Monty's kind of just standing there looking. What do you do?
Oh my god. He's just kind of brain dead or what?
No. He looks confused.
Looks confused, yeah.
I'm not leaving this animal here.
I'm gonna take him with. Oh, definitely. Come on, let's go.
Well, we still have our memories of her and Borch getting along, correct?
Yeah. You guys.
I'm gonna.
You guys remember everything that doesn't directly involve you.
Can do not?
I'm gonna search my pockets for some rations and offer the dogs some food because dogs like food, right?
Well, you do that, and you actually find his treats.
Not Borch, but Monty. I meant Monty.
I hold this treat in my hand and look kind of wigged out by it, but I offer it to the dog. And she just looks extremely confused and a little bit upset, but she's not really sure why.
And Monty,
and then her face is wet.
Yeah, Monty kind of reflects what you're feeling, but takes the treat and kind of nudges your hand a little bit. As if Monty's expecting something, but even Monty doesn't know what Monty's expecting.
I pet him because when a dog nudges your hand, that's what they want.
Did you
Come on, let's
Monty, Kenna?
Is that his name?
Yes, he's also your dog.
How did he get here?
You brought him.
Yeah, Kenna, that's your dog. Don't you remember?
Technically, your mount.
We need to go.
I'm feeling really bad too. Let's just get out of here. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm just feeling really anxious and depressed.
Feeling subliminal brain damage.
So with that, you guys head back for the town of Gryphongaffe, and fortunately, it's only a day's ride back. And at this point, you guys would probably want to take a rest, but because of everything you've gone through, you may want to also push. It's up to you guys. But you could definitely travel a couple hours at least and get away from out of the swamp.
I'm willing to just travel on.
Travel on for now.
Okay. Okay, so you're now out and away from the swamp. You're heading down the forest trail back to Gryphongaffe. So if you guys are all in agreement, you can push through. It'll be kind of a forced march, and you'll be pretty tired the next day. But you could definitely make it.
Okay.
Rather make it and rest in Gryphongaffe than yeah.
Indeed.
Hi, Brian.
So you begin you travel back, and it's rather uneventful. All of you have this melancholy feeling of loss the whole time. With the only redeeming thing from your journey is the defeating of that snake man abomination, as well as knowing that you're going to have the final ingredient that will help Sheena put together a cure for those poor folks in that village. So you find yourself at dawn's light, a new day at the gates of Gryphongaffe.
Okay.
Let's get the plant to Sheena, and I vote we pass the hell out for the day.
Okay, so you can easily do that. You know, you go through the kind of the same process you've gone through the last couple of times. We won't do it a third time. Oh no, we lost Megan. And she's back. So you guys go through the same process you've gone through the last several days, several times, and you hand it off, and she says, you know, she'll have the antidote ready for you within a day or two. Are you guys going to go to the Poor Man's Tavern,
I am.
or back to the halflings?
Drink. Definitely a drink. That's
Poor
fine.
man's tavern to sleep. I like sleeping at the poor man's tavern. I'm not a part of the halflings. Have a gnome.
Well, you guys do have a room there if you so choose to take it. Kenna, are you going back to the Ambi Way?
Oh.
Okay, cool. All right, so with that, you're greeted. You ladies that head to the pub, you are greeted by little Tom, and he's happy to see you, especially after you guys had saved his establishment from the previous catastrophe. And basically, he has a room set aside for you guys for whenever you want to use it, and asks if you need any food or if you want, you know, wash basins brought up. Whatever you need is provided for you.
I want more of that mushroom here.
And then the first sight Kenna sees when returning to the Ambi Way is Lala Midge, who happens to be up early as she is every morning. And Monty bolts from your side to greet Lala Midge as if greeting a long lost friend. And Lala Midge kind of like bends down and, you know, scratches behind his ears and, what's gotten into you? What's gotten into you, boy?
Something happened.
And then she looks up at Kenna and looks in your eyes, and you can just see a little bit of a sadness come over her face. What has happened, child? What is wrong?
And at this point, Kenna can't really articulate. She's just going to run over there and hug her and cry.
Okay, so when you do that, she just wraps her arms around you super tight, and then you can kind of feel her tears on the side of your face as she weeps with you. She does not know what's happened, and she doesn't need to know what's happened. Your pain is her pain, and she just holds you tight. And as you guys embrace, and she rocks you gently, Monty kind of nudges himself in between you and begins rubbing up against both of you. And for the first time since leaving the cave, something happens that makes you think, you know, it just might be okay. And you feel Monty's wet, cold nose fill your hand as he snuffs at it, as if he's trying to empathize with your pain.
Yeah, I'm gonna pet him, and then I'm gonna tell her they said he was my dog, and I don't know.
So she retells the tale of basically the vision that you relived before forgetting it, of how Monty came into your possession and how you guys have never been apart. And you sit there for a little while, though you're bone weary and tired, as Lala Midge regales you with tale after tale of the adventures you and Monty have had together, as if trying to assure you that everything is okay. And part of you knows it is, and then there's a part of you just feels this terrible loss. And you know, looking over at you and seeing how weary you are, she actually kind of takes you to one of the wagons where you sleep, and puts you to bed as if you were a child once again, and just sits there with you, stroking your hair. And a little while later, you feel a heavy, reassuring weight as Monty jumps up into the bed with you and curls up with you, kind of whimpering quietly as he nuzzles in.
Oh.
And as you both kind of, drift off to sleep, wondering what the next day will bring. So with that, you guys probably pass out for a good 12 hours or so. The two ladies at the poor man's pub will wake up to the sounds of the tap room getting busy. And Kenna will wake up to a bit of a different sound. The sound of heavy work being done and heavy exertion. And it's a little bit odd because it's no noise that you've ever heard come out of a halfling before.
I'm probably confused for a minute, and then I remember Yep,
you live here now, and apparently the work has begun already. And you kind of come out to the strangest sight. So as you're standing at the top of the wagon, the stairs, getting ready to go down, you see a figure that is easily 4 times the size of a halfling across, and 3 times as tall, with long, dark, greasy hair, bare-chested, wearing basically what would amount to a loincloth, driving piles into the ground with a large sledgehammer. You recognize the ogre troll working amongst some halfling folk, as well as a couple dwarves and a human or two as well, as they begin breaking ground on the Ambiway compound. And as you step down the steps and walk around, you see Lila Midge with a switch every once in a while, swinging it at the ogre and directing him.
Yeah, not gonna mess with her. Just gonna let that happen and go see what I can do to help somewhere else.
Okay, so where are you headed? Your friends are at the pub, or you can do something else?
I should probably meet up with my friends at the pub, but I will let them know that, like, I'll come back and do something when I get home. I swear I'm not trying to duck out on shores again.
And at one final glance, it looks like Lyle Midge is just having a grand time ordering around the troll, the ogre. And
I know what you're doing, Dave.
What am I doing?
Agatha in mini form.
Yeah.
And Borch to train form.
Her next date will be with troll. No.
Oh my god.
So as you wander off heading towards the pub, Monty begins to follow you, although he looks a little lost.
I go ahead and pat my leg and nod to him like that's what he should be doing.
And he,
because I don't remember, but now I know.
He falls in the step just like he would have of old, although you don't remember that, but it just seems natural. So what are you ladies doing? You just awoken to the sounds of a busy tap room.
I'm going to try to sort out what the hell went on.
Well, it feels, I feel strange being in this place because all of a sudden she sort of wakes up and she's like looking at her feathers and her tattoos and she's just like feeling empty and really confused and like wondering what the hell she's doing there. Like she remembers why she's there, but she doesn't remember why she's there. You know, she doesn't know what brought her here, so she's feeling a little bit melancholy.
You mean melancholy?
No one got that? Mega Mind reference? Melancholy.
It's been a while since I watched that one.
I actually watched it fairly recently, but I did not remember the reference.
I love that one. Okay, anyway, so that's what she's doing.
So what did you do with Borch? If you don't do anything with him, he's sleeping at the door outside your room.
I'm still trying to figure everything out when the heck
We're
went
like
on.
wasted and confused.
Pretty much. So just to re-clarify, what the hell happened to my memory? Or to Fixus's memory?
Your memory of your father has been kind of been merged with Borch.
Like Borch was there, or
That's so Freudian.
Yes.
so Borch was somehow there when my characters found her father.
That's how you remember it now? Yes.
So it feels like Borscht has always been with you, basically.
So you cannot when you think of your father, basically it's almost like a Janus effect where, you know, like when you look at him, half of him looks like the goblin and half of him looks like himself.
So confused.
And if you try and delve into that memory deeper, all the cultists on the side in the circle on the side of the side that looks like Borch are all goblins in robes.
Oh God.
So strange. So you're like schizophrenic now.
A little brain dead.
And when you go to leave your room, Borch is on the other side of the door before you even open the door.
And in a bad dream. That's too funny.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to do. My brain's fried.
I'm like, hey, Daphne, have another one of these mushroom beers. They're really good. Just don't think about it too much, man.
It's not even noon, Agatha.
We woke up in the bar, didn't we? What we did?
Well, you're not in the bar. You're in a room.
Oh, I thought we passed out at the bar or something. I'm confused too. See, I don't even know where I am anymore.
No, when you got there, they said they have a room set aside for you.
Mushroom ale. Okay.
But I mean, obviously, if you decided to stay in the common room drinking,
I just imagined that we stayed in there and we were just like crazy and weird and passed out. And they were like, whatever.
So what you're saying is the drink, whatever we did, has a similar effect of having our brains being smashed out by a lemon that's been wrapped around a large gold brick.
So when you encounter Borch, I'm sorry, mistress. I know you ordered me to stay. We're getting some feedback now. I know you told me to stay in town, mistress, but I just couldn't let you go by yourself. I couldn't. You've been so good to Borch. And then I saw those creatures around you. I was so terrified and scared. And who is that man?
Which man?
The one with surrounded by the people in the robes.
If my memory serves me, my father.
Why are we stuck together?
Well, I'm going to go with their magic is more powerful than mine, and my brain is halfway to scrambled at the minute.
You're like, I have no memory of this place. Just like wizard it out. You're probably so confused. Like, you're a wizard. You remember everything. Think about it. You'd be mad.
Why do you think I was trying to run away in the first place? It's like blue things never good coming out of people. It was either your spirits or
Oh no. Where have you taken us, Dave? Crazy world.
down the rabbit hole. That's where he's taking us.
Yeah, just straight into the rabbit hole. Okay.
So Agatha, you wake up, you slumped over the bar, people around you, and there is a cup of mushroom ale in front of you that is like a quarter full.
Good day. Okay.
I need something. Get me a mug of dwarven ale, a mug of orc ale, and mix it together with a big curly straw.
Needs the Arcana special immediately.
I need a tall glass of dwark.
Oh my god.
Tall glass of orc.
So,
Potion in my ocean.
as you thinking that you need that, Borch kind of starts nodding his head, and his large mohawk bopping up and down, and he begins scurrying off, and you hear him muttering under his breath, "Right away, mistress, right away," and as if he's responding to your thoughts.
Oh my god, he's actually your familiar now.
That is creepy.
Oh god.
Are they in the same bar as me then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Can I just sort of be like looking over at them, like I kind of know what happened because I saw it, and I'm like really like I look at Borch differently now. I'm like, he is like connected to her in some way, and it's like creeping me out. So I'm sitting over there with like a hood on and just like glowering at you guys.
So
Together.
Borch is coming down the stairs, and they're in the room upstairs. So
Okay.
So you see him coming down, bopping his head, bopping up and down, his mohawk flying all around.
Okay.
And he comes up to the bar, and mistress requires a strong drink, please. Make it double strong.
The bar that I'm at?
Yeah. He's talking to the bartender.
Right. Yeah. But he's sitting next to me now.
And so the bartender, there's two different. He takes a mug and he goes, "I got something special just for her." Now he looks around. You can't tell. If you see any orcs, you can't tell them we do this, and if you see any dwarves, definitely don't tell them we do this. And he takes half. He fills it halfway from one keg and then fills it the other way from another. And then he's got this special top that he kind of seals on top of it. And then he begins shaking it up. And he pulls out some strange looking mushrooms and cuts them into cubes and plops 3 of them into the top. And leaving it covered, hands it to Borch and says, "Here, bring this to her. We don't have anything any stronger than this."
I'm like, here. I can agree to that. Ugh.
I'm about to lose 9 points of intelligence. Hey, everybody else's Christmas going to go up.
Congratulations, Daffy. You just created the first dwarf drink in Gryphongaffe.
So when he gets back, I'm going to hammer that.
Hammer that. Like, I don't know what's going on. I guess I'll just drink.
It's very strong, and it's almost like drinking like a porridge, but at the same time, it's surprisingly tasty. It's almost like an alcoholic meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I found liquid bread.
Oh my god. Hey, Daff, you gotta click on this link that I just sent you, by the way. This is Borch. Now that he's not a mad goblin, he's a confused goblin. There you go. He's like, you're gonna love that.
Oh, World of Warcraft. I actually own that card.
He's like a crazy lost goblin, like, chasing like butterflies.
After I down this, I'm going to go make headway to the library.
Okay, so Kenna, you come into the poor man's pub as you witness Borch heading up the stairs, holding something clasped in his little goblin's hands, his giant mohawk bopping up and down as he takes the steps 2 at a time, and you see Agatha looking kind of bleary-eyed and confused on the at the end of the bar. Her hair's a mess, and it doesn't look like she's gotten out of her clothes.
I climb up onto the stool beside her.
I'm like, yes.
So I talked to Lala Midge last night.
Oh, good. How's she doing?
How drunk are you?
What? I've had like hardly anything, you know.
Yeah,
It's just
as she
mushroom.
says that, little Tom plops down another full mushroom out and takes away one in front of her.
I'm like, ha, that's my boyfriend.
That is a
Like,
half. Okay, whatever.
Smiley, like crazy, drunk, and just sort of apathetic looking.
Anhedonic. No. Kudos for whoever knows what anhedonic means, but
Anhedonic. Anyways, so figure it's some
So, what happened to you when we were in that cave?
I just remember going there. I remember the snake serpent thing we fought. I remember this journey. I don't remember why I'm here, and I want to throw up.
Well,
Void of pleasure, basically, void of happiness. Anhedonic. That's how I feel. I feel anhedonic.
I feel good and hammered.
I don't know what to do.
You don't feel good either? You feel weird?
I don't remember anything, but they took my best friend from me.
As you say
He's
that,
right there. He's right there, and
as you say that, there's a whimper from by your feet.
I'm like, they didn't take him. What are you talking about? He's right there.
I know, but I don't remember him. I don't remember anything.
Okay, something is weird going on. Something weird is going on because I don't remember anything about.
It's the crones. That's what crones do. It's fairy tale rules. They took memories in exchange for those flowers, and I highly doubt it was a fair trade.
Then we need to talk to Sheena about this. I wonder if she has any potions or any kind of alchemical secrets that she could give us to get our memories back.
You're right. Let's talk to Sheena.
Okay. I don't know, Daff. I just saw Borch, and I don't know. He seems happier and more jolly than usual. Little freak.
Are you talking about Borch or Daff?
Yeah, Borch. No, Daff is always a freak. I'm talking about Borch.
I'm
so
terrible.
He's having conflicting feelings about Borch.
He seemed different. He didn't seem so feral. He seemed a part of the puzzle for once. Not
Well,
so.
I mean, he's been getting better. If you'd give him a chance, you'd find that he's not
No.
a terrible little thing.
Nope, it's not that. Something else. He's a goblin. Don't underestimate him. But still, something different.
So, if it's not any trouble at all, I'd like to be heading down the stairs now and asking Borch about how goblins are made. In case I missed something in biology class.
Well, Daff, when a mommy goblin and a daddy goblin love each other very much. Oh my god, you're drunk too.
Nothing. Shut up. I don't want to know. I've been through enough. She starts having like a panic attack. She's like, stop.
Okay, it's okay. I put my hands on her shoulders and I'm like trying to calm her down, bard style.
Give me inspiration, Kenna.
You're okay. You don't need inspiration to calm down. You just need to take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, inhale. 1, 2, 3, exhale.
Where's my glaive? I want to kill something.
No, you don't want to kill something. We want to go to the library and talk to Sheena.
You're right. Okay.
So
I'm gonna find out how goblins are made.
To fix this?
Well, Borch will go into great graphic detail about how goblins are made if you ask him.
No, we are leaving.
Well,
we are
I'm
no
going
big
to
out
ask
of here
him
now.
in case somehow goblins are made via some other way than standard humanoid species.
Yeah. So essentially, off screen, that conversation happens where he just is with great gusto explaining these things. Before you guys leave, though, Tom does ask if he could get you some breakfast, but he's like, well, it's getting closer to dinner now, but you have to keep up your strength.
I'm like, oh my god,
You're
yes,
right.
bacon,
Library.
please.
When you're right, you're right.
We can even scrounge something up for Monty there.
I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
Nothing for Borch? So rude. No, he's probably been awake all day.
Nothing
Yeah.
for borscht.
No, he's been sleeping too because he was with you guys, so he was just as tired. So no, and he brings out 4 platters for you guys to partake of, and he brings plenty of scraps for Monty to eat his fill. You each get some beef stew served in a bread bowl. It's thick and hearty and quite good.
Delicious.
And now I want a small teacup pig that I named Hawk, last name Ham.
Defexus.
Huh?
I've never seen you drink before. It's actually quite an interesting thing to witness.
I'm suffering from some subliminal brain damage.
Wait.
Yeah, what happened to you in the cave, by the way? We've been discussing that and trying to piece it together.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure.
Should I ask you when you're
Borch
sober?
might be my father.
What?
Okay.
Agatha's over there just like, oh hell no.
No, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Let's just go to the library after we're done eating.
I thought he was my daddy, but then I found out he's my daddy.
No.
Now imagine the goblins like bowling, like the elves, like elf bowling.
I'm going to go to the library.
Let's go talk to Sheena.
Throw up on any of the
Right now.
books.
Okay, so you guys head over to the Elven Library, and at this point, you've been there enough times to be recognized, so you know exactly. The scribe at the desk just waves you through, and you guys find your way to Sheena's workshop.
Okay, and that's in the library, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and
Okay.
just as you're getting to the the door to her workshop, you hear a large or loud explosion.
That's normal.
Okay.
And then and then some rustling inside as the door slams open with a huge burst of gray smoke. A little corgi dog comes running out, yipping and yapping, and then the elf Sheena Silversong, very tall and whip thin, with her hair of copper and one golden eye and one silver eye, wearing workman's leathers, hacking and coughing a little bit and kind of like waving the smoke away.
I'm going to help her wave and cast Mage Hand to help me wave the smoke away. 3 hands for the price of 1.
Yeah, because your hands aren't really doing anything because the smoke is like 2 feet over your head at least. So
Prestidigitation?
you can use that to kind of like push some of it away. And
Well, that's what Mage Hand does too. It's a hand and mage. And...
Whatever, this lady seems wise. I'm gonna start wafting and like.
I'm going to immediately ask her if she's ever heard of people being turned into goblins for the purpose of padding the goblin population.
Okay. No. You're confused.
Actually, when you say that, you see a spark in her eyes of recognition as you say it, and she basically goes and tells you how one of the priests that works here at the library was kidnapped and taken to a strange realm and was half turned into a goblin.
How are you half turned into a goblin? How does that work?
An orc? No.
I don't know, but he's got green streaks in his hair now. His eyes are yellow. He looks like a freak.
Well, that's not
That's not
nice
very
to
nice.
say.
I want to know this guy.
My father's a goblin.
Well, that would be
Oh,
normal.
fun.
A goblin, goblins are goblins, but he is somewhere in between
Somewhere
a
in between.
human and a goblin. Not like
He's
a
a freak.
Could
a
you-
half orc or a half elf.
Could you tell us somebody's been turned into a goblin?
Can you guys see that link, by the way?
Yes.
The Google
That's
Drive.
what I
one.
imagine Sheena's laboratory to look like.
I
Yeah.
am going to hand her the flowers.
Yeah.
I thought we did that when we
Yeah,
got
you guys had delivered them.
Oh, I had cut out, so I didn't hear that part.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, you guys had delivered them. And once she gets done being sidetracked by the person being turned into a goblin story, which apparently happened, and his friends had to basically part of the story was too that he actually got sucked into a book, and his friends had to go into the book after him and bring him out.
I need to hear the rest of this story, but at some other point because we have pressing matters that I need to ask you about.
Well, I need to know if Borch has ever been human. That's more.
Borch is not your dad. We found Borch in a hole somewhere because he kidnapped my nieces and nephew.
Yes, but I remember my dad being turned into Borch.
Okay, but I don't remember a lot of things that I should be. It is very clear that those crones screwed with our heads.
Well, yeah, but it sounds like they took something out of your memories. I don't know anything that got taken out. I'm just trying to. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Okay, how about this? Defexus, try and sort this through when you're not drunk. Try and
We're
sort
like
this
a
through
bunch
when you're
of emo
clear-headed.
crybabies. He was like, what the frick?
You're gonna have a bad trip. You just gotta relax and not think about it too hard.
And then I fell asleep on the floor.
Agatha's like a
okay,
crazy
that
laughing
happens.
person.
So,
Did she say she fell asleep on the floor?
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
Okay, so Borch plops down Indian style right next to her and cradles her head in his lap and is kind of like gently stroking her hair.
this is weird.
And so Sheena looks over, shrugs her shoulders, and goes, "Well, what can I help you with?"
We need to talk to you about what happened in the crone's lair.
Ah, yes. Well, you came back with the Drake Blossom. I figured everything went pretty well.
Well, and I'm gonna start telling her like about my part of the experience and like how I don't remember my dog, but like everybody keeps telling me that he's my dog, and then this thing with Defexus and her dad is apparently a thing. But she's drunk, so we're not sure how much of that is actually what went on. It is.
Ah, yes, the crones. I told you it was very dangerous to deal with them.
I mean, yeah, you did, but I thought like life or limb kind of dangerous.
Oh no, you can regrow limbs. Well, with the right magic, and I've seen people brought back to life, but dealing with them is dangerous. But
Yeah?
they always honor their bargains. Speaking of
Okay.
which, I've created the antidote.
Well, that's good. I mean, we're definitely gonna have to take care of that at some point, but I have questions, and
Well, what are your questions?
is it fixable?
Not that I know of. That which has been taken cannot be retrieved.
Even if we went and talked to them, like they can't fix it.
Oh, perhaps they can with another bargain.
But then we'd
The
be
goblin.
risking making it worse.
We could do a sacrifice.
No. Unless it's a chicken or something.
I was talking about borscht, but if you don't think that's a good idea.
No! He's right there. Don't say that in front of him. He can hear you.
I like point at him and laugh. I'm like, I'm just joking, okay? I won't throw you in the pits of the witchcraft.
The pits of the witchcraft.
Whatever they are, they took something from me, and you're telling me that I cannot retrieve what I lost. There's no antidote.
There is no cure. You gave what you gave freely.
Right. Got it.
It would take.
Do we know what we lost, or is it just sort of? It's very.
It would take what?
It would take very powerful magics, or that of the crones to decide to give it back, and they don't give anything
So
away free.
What other kind of magic could do this?
Well, like I said, I've seen limbs regrown with powerful magic, and I've seen life restored with powerful magic. And I think it would take something stronger than that.
So you're saying we need a healer?
I think you would need a miracle worker.
Oh, good.
And miracles aren't cheap.
Well, going back and facing those crones right now is absolutely out of the question. It's just not on our docket at the moment. It's just gonna have to take a bit.
It gets easier with time.
What have you given them?
I've been there 3 times.
Did they take the color of one of your eyes? Is that why they're different colors?
She looks a little perplexed when you ask that, and like she's about to answer. And like she kind of like pauses with her mouth half open, and she goes, "I don't know," and kind of nervously chuckles.
Oh my god, I knew she was crazy. She's like, we're like her now, guys.
No, because we've only been there once and we're not going back again.
Yes, we are going back. No,
okay, fine. Eventually we will go back, but we're not talking about that right now. We will wait until we're out of the library to discuss our vengeance plans. Anyway.
Yeah, let's definitely just try to move on from this for a minute at least. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, so that's all she has to tell us is that thanks for the so she's made the antidote to this disease going around, correct?
Yes, she has.
Oh, see, that changes our mood a little bit.
How much of it is there?
Excuse me, Megan?
How much of it is there?
She's basically made it looks like a keg.
Oh, that's good. How much does it take to cure it?
Should only take a drop.
Oh, good. Okay, so we're pretty set. Taken straight, or can you mix it with something else?
You can mix it with something. You could put it on food, or in another liquid. It is really potent.
So I guess we need to go back to that town then.
Yeah, we need to go back to the pub where we saw it happening here in the city and see if there's anything else.
It was happening here in the city. When was this?
I wonder. Well, when we came here and there was that weird, slimy creature that happened.
Oh, those were oozes. The fairies caused that. The pixies.
Nothing else caused that. There was no other magic involved.
So they were just having fun.
Oh, okay. Well, then, who do we talk to then about this antidote?
We just got it.
Well, no. Where do we take it to? Transfer.
I wasn't there, so and Defexus is passed out.
Daff.
I hate my life right now.
Where do we go? Okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to Muscle Man. That's what I'm gonna call him.
Can I choose to wake up at this
Harac?
point?
Is that what his name is?
Harac is his name. Yes, you can wake up. Actually, Borch actually gently shakes you awake.
I'm like,
Daddy?
Borch. Daddy? He's like, who's your daddy? I mean, good morning.
You guys are terrible. This is the
I already made
worst.
that joke.
I'm gonna mushroom stamp you with one of the mushrooms I took from the
Okay.
back in the bar.
Enough.
No, with the mushroom. Wake up, Daff. We need to go and find Harac because he needs to help us figure out how to cure people.
What
from
does
this
Harac have to do with any of this? Was he there in the town when you saw the party?
he might know something. Okay.
Is he your
Agatha,
daddy?
be honest with me. You're really into him, aren't you?
You know what? I am. He's pretty hot.
Oh,
Is he
I'm
your
never
daddy?
going to stop teasing you about that. But seriously, we need to make some travel plans.
I stand by my previous comment. Anyways,
What are those? Speak thy
What are travel
mind.
plans?
So with that, Sheena's like, I do have some more work to get to. Do you want me to keep the cask here, or do you want to take it with you? I have
take it with
storage if you want.
Can we
Ah.
just take, like, come back as needed? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
we need to go
So-
save a village.
Gonna fill a flask.
Enough for, the village.
Well, it only
Yeah,
takes
so-
a drop, so the
I
flask
hope
should be
nobody
in.
else got turned while we were away. I don't want to have to fight a whole bunch more of them.
So, after she talks to you guys and she kind of figures out what happened in the previous village, she gives you actually a small metal vial that's stoppered,
Mhm.
and said, "This should be more than enough."
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. So now what are we gonna do?
Now we need to settle our affairs here because we're going to be on the road for a little while, and I suppose just make
Where are we
travel plans, arrange things properly.
Yeah.
Daff,
Yeah.
how are you doing? How's your how are you?
A goblin's my daddy.
Oh, again.
So not good. Maybe we should take the day before we start making our arrangements and just plan to go and help it first.
Yeah, it's actually because you guys actually returned to Gryphongaffe at basically right around dawn. Then you probably guys slept until basically like dinner time, 6 in the evening,
Right.
and so yeah, probably setting out on the next day or a day or two later wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you guys think about Harac? Could he give us any information, or do you think I should just blow him off?
I think
Don't
there's
blow
a
him off.
certain
Go
amount of-
talk to him. I'm sorry. What was it, Daff?
I was going to say there's a certain kind of blowing that you want to do, but I don't think it's all.
No. Oh, you guys are terrible.
We're going to get an R rating on this.
Oh, okay.
So, what preparations would you guys like to make for your journey?
I want to go visit my pixies.
Okay.
I'm going to rest up and ask Borch if he's my daddy.
No.
If
I'm
you
gonna go ask Harac if he's my daddy.
No.
All right, I won.
Everyone else has more sex than me.
Okay. Wait. So if we're going on a journey, where are we going?
back to the village where you met the halflings.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, so now we're gonna go back to the place where it all began.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
So if you
Delicious.
wanted to visit the pixies, you could actually travel out to the lodge
Oh my God.
and stay there if you wanted to for the night. I mean, it'll be a little bit more expensive than some of the other places that you have stayed, but you could do that because it's kind of like a setup for nobles and aristocrats. So it's gonna be like,
Well, I have the funds to do that right now, so I will go ahead and do that then.
Can I stay with the pixies? I
So-
don't want to stay in the inn. I want to stay with the pixies.
Right. I don't know if I want. I would rather like go and talk to the pixies too and see if they can help me feel better in some way.
I think they'd appreciate us sleeping around their shrine. We are not fae.
I like to loiter around pixies. Okay, don't
Speak
judge.
for yourself. I'm Faye.
ish. So
Gnomes are Faye.
They are.
is there anything specific you guys want to do before actually leaving the town?
Not that I can think of leveling up, but no.
Let me check my handy dandy to-do list.
I'll definitely talk to Harac one more time and then maybe see if he knows of anything about these witches. Is that a good idea, ladies? I'm talking to you now.
Yes, go talk
You
to
can-
Harac.
Okay, I'll be back.
Find out from him, by the way. You don't have to do it right now, but don't forget.
Right. Before we leave, I need to talk to him. But in the meantime, maybe fairies, getting some rest, getting Daft back to her senses.
I'm going to head to the library until it's bedtime and research rituals to turn people into goblins.
Okay, there's definitely plenty of books to sift through. You find tons of stuff on kind of occult lore and fey lore and different arcane rituals.
Okay, well, that's what I'm doing for the time being.
As long as we are in town for a little bit, I'm going to go volunteer at the church.
Okay.
And help them with the healing and see what I can learn watching them do stuff.
Okay, they are definitely appreciative of your assistance, and of course they recognize you, and more of them recognize you than you recognize them from the last time you were there.
Okay. Oh, because I was unconscious.
Because yeah. So you're able to pick up some tips and some tricks. Agatha, if you're looking for Harac, after several inquiries with the town watch and the guardsmen, they're able to point you in the right direction.
Very good. I was going to ask about that. I was like, I need to find out where he is and sort of place myself where he is. I would like to place myself where he is because I don't necessarily want to ask him out again. I just kind of want him to oops, run into me. Okay.
So you're basically pointing in the direction of the barracks where he has an office. So if you kind of hang around and loiter for a while discreetly, he eventually appears.
All right, I'm going to sit on the corner and play my ocarina and just sort of fluff my curls basically and just wait for him.
Okay. So you hear the heavy tromp of booted feet as you look up and see Harac's towering form in the fading sunlight, broad-chested and vastly muscular figure, and you see a large great sword strapped to his back, and as he looks down, and oh, I didn't know you were a musician.
Oh, fancy seeing you here, Harac.
Well, I kind of work over there, and points over to the barracks. I split up my time between the council hall. I have an office there and here as well. I like to keep myself grounded and stay elbow to elbow and shoulder to shoulder with the men that work under me. So what brings you here? Have you had supper yet? Hello? Have we frozen?
I'm not. As far
Okay.
as I know, but
Is Sam frozen?
maybe. I was flipping through my book, just, twiddling my thumbs.
What about Megan? Are you there?
Okay.
Now. What about you, Sam? Alrighty then. We will pan to So how long will you spend at the church helping out?
Most of the afternoon. I want to basically get to know the people there, and I'm also listening to each other and trying to figure out more about local lore, what they have to say, because Kenna's nosy.
Okay. So you pick up a couple of rumors here and there, about mostly gossip stuff, who's doing what, who's dating who, which politicians they think are crooked, and some of the stories are kind of conflicting. So some people like a particular politician, while others will say that guy's a crook, and you get a lot of that as people are kind of commiserating with each other, and you start to kind of get the more of a layout of the land, and You can actually, at some point, you can make up 2 rumors if you want that you heard.
Cut to Daff and give me a minute to think about that.
Okay, you doesn't even have to do it tonight. You can think about them.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
This.
Okay, so what do I find in the library?
All right, so you're sifting and pouring through books, and every once in a while, someone will come up and offer to give you a hand. And when you tell them what they're looking for, they always kind of point you in the direction of polymorph magic. And for some reason, like you start researching some of that, and you just don't think that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, no.
And the more you research, you almost feel like what happened was some kind of mishap. You found it throughout your research that more things have been written down about magical accidents and mishaps that have things in common with what happened to you than actually any kind of spells or incantations.
Yeah.
And I think, after like the 4th hour or so of just pouring through things, you're starting to piece together that you think that your memories have actually been altered.
Oh.
But during that whole time, as you're doing stuff, every once in a while, Borch will bring you like the next thing you wanted, or he'll do something for you that you were going to do for yourself, or have him do almost instinctively, and you don't even have to tell him.
Would my character be able to assume that it's anything similar to a familiar kind of thing, or is there some sort of precedent for this, or?
There's not necessarily a precedent for it, but if you actually explore it, and that's the line of thinking that you use, you can feel you kind of like start meditating inward on it, and what happens is you start to feel that same sensation you did when you first summoned your skull spider, whose name eludes me right now.
I didn't give him a name yet.
That is why. And as you meditate on it, you're sitting there, with a book in front of you, and you're thinking about it. And then the next thing you know, you can actually see yourself sitting there with the book in front of you, with your eyes slightly closed, breathing steady and rhythmically. From across the room is the vantage point that you're getting from the spot where Borch was kind of just hanging out.
Okay, yeah, he's turned into my familiar. Oh boy. Well, this is going to be a whole sort of stuck in somebody's craw tonight. Anyways.
And as you're concentrating and focusing on that, he comes scurrying over to you. Mistress, is there anything I can do for you? Are you okay?
Can I actually talk to him telepathically while I'm doing this? Out of curiosity? I try to see
yes,
how.
You do. And as you begin speaking to him, he starts nodding his head. Sam's got some thunderstorms going on.
Sorry, everyone.
Lost power.
Power between the Go ahead.
So he begins nodding his head up and down as you're talking to him and asking questions in his head, and then all of a sudden, it's as if like he just got kicked by a mule and jumps as he realizes that your lips aren't moving and you're not actually talking to him. He's like, Mistress Borch is scared. What is going on?
Well, this is going to be awkward for everybody today. But basically, I think when you did whatever it was that you did in the cave, we might have become linked through the astral plane, or we've become linked in a peculiar way.
Am I going to explode?
Explode? No.
And he starts touching the spot where you drew the glyph on him.
You gave him PTSD with your crazy.
I I don't think you'll explode as far as I know. I've never heard this actually happen. We'll figure it out as we go.
And he seems to be calmed with that a little bit as you tell him that. So, Sam, what was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard was, I didn't know that you were a musician. And then I said, well, hello there, Harac, or something. I can't remember.
Well, he asked you if you've had supper yet.
Dang. Okay. Well, I have not.
Well, would you care to accompany me? I'm just off to get a meal now.
Oh, I'd be so flattered. Yes.
So what he's saying is that he wants you to check out his ass.
Exactly.
Harac is a perfect gentleman, mind you.
His axe or his ass?
I thought, oh wait, mules. Ass is another word for donkey. My bad.
Okay.
So with that, he heads off. And this time he's heading towards Tom's place, which you're very familiar with. He's like, okay. The other place is really nice, but I actually prefer simpler fare, if you don't mind.
Oh, so do I. Thank you. I actually prefer that as well. Let's do that.
Yeah, and so as you enter the poor man's pub, Tom waves to you and nods as he always does, and he also greets Harac as well. And
so what's going on? Harac is in this place. Harac and Daff are here.
Nope, it's just the two of you, and the rest of the patrons in the pub.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I'm with you.
And
okay.
And Tom asks, "Can I get you the usual Harac?" He's like, "Sure, that'll do."
Okay.
And Harac kind of like guides you over to one of the tables. It looks like it's such a casual and regular movement for him that you feel like he's done it, many times. Like this is a place that he visits a lot.
Okay.
And with that, he takes his greatsword off of his back and leans it against the wall in the corner. Stretches out his shoulders and pulls out the chair for you.
Whew. Okay. So I let him treat me like lady, and I sit down.
So before too long, 2 mugs of mushroom ale find their way to the table, along with some bread before the meal arrives.
Mm.
And
my new favorite drink. I've been very close to this one lately.
I see. Well, this is an excellent place to partake of beverage. Tom is a fine brewer.
Indeed.
And he kind of he looks at you and kind of cocks an eye. He's like, I really don't believe it's an accident that you happen to be hanging around outside the barracks.
Well, I didn't take you for a complete fool, so I figured you'd find it out.
Well, he kind of chuckles and he's like, well, it's not too uncommon for folks to question my intellect just because of my heritage.
Oh, I never did that. But I can understand that, yes, in this place. Mm-hmm.
Gryphongaffe is much better than many of the places I visit, but people still have their preconceived notions of my kind.
As they do of mine. That is where you and I agree, get along, and connect in other ways than you can imagine. I, as an outlander, have always been sort of scolded and mistrusted and glared at. So I think we can agree there.
Folks can be confused, but just because one enjoys simpler ways, they think that those are simple, but it is not the case.
Indeed. They are much confused. Society, I find, weakens men. Don't you agree?
Well, there's many pros and cons to the civilized life, but in some ways you're absolutely correct. So how is your stay at Gryphongaffe treating you so far?
Harac, I had to come to you. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be open. I've gone through something, and I figured you'd be able to at least ease my fears, but I have to confess to you something, and maybe you might help me. I'm just very I've been very emotional lately, and I was afraid to come to you, but I wanted to know if I could trust you. Can I trust you?
I believe so, lady.
Have you ever heard of the witches in the woods?
Witches? No.
Muses or witches. Well, I went seeking something there, and I've lost something quite important to me. You could say it has something to do with my background. You could say it has to do with a piece of me, and I wondered if you knew anything about this witchcraft.
I do not know much about witchcraft at all. I try and avoid it myself. I'm a man of martial means and action, and magic makes me a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. But are you well? Have you been harmed? Have you seen the Father Frelier at the Church of the Light?
I have not. That is
And-
something I could look into, though.
And what are these witches? Did they attack you?
Well, Harac, I guess I should tell you I'm on a mission to help save people. There's been something going on in this place. Something been going on in the forests and in the small towns outside. And I've gone on a journey to collect a cure, and in this I have lost a part of myself, even though it was willing, and I don't know what to do now, and I feel lost.
Well, I am sorry for your loss, but I knew right away when I first met you, when I first saw you and laid eyes upon you, that you had a noble spirit. And that only comes out now in your sacrifice, that you would do this for strangers. But what are these witches? So as a point of reference, when Sheena had told you guys about the witches, she kind of said, like, it's an evil that she knows about, but she hasn't told anybody because she finds them useful sometimes.
Right. And at this point, Agatha's feeling kind of scared to tell Harac about the witches because he doesn't know about him.
And but in the wide world, there are many dangerous and scary things that I've found. And in the past 5 years, so much has changed in Gryphongaffe. We have dragon men walking amongst us. Just the other week, there was a gigantic monster in the town that came as our friend. And all kinds of strange manner of beasts and creatures. I didn't think I'd see the day that I would see goblins running around in my beloved Gryphongaffe, unless they're wielding torches and swords. But lo and behold, we have goblins here performing in our taverns, and even your friend I've seen walking around with one. You yourself, you brought that creature troll to the barracks, and we imprisoned him. We didn't really know what to do with him, so we kind of sold him as an indentured servant to the halflings. Last I saw, he's actually helping them build their settlement.
I knew it.
It's strange times we're living in. If he behaves himself and he works throughout the year well, then he will earn his freedom back.
Times have changed, Harac, and I am afraid that I have been wrong. Well, do you know anything other than strange magics going on, or strange beasts all of a sudden becoming a part of society? Is this normal? Am I crazy? Have I lost my mind? I feel lost, Harac. I need your help. My last hope.
What exactly is it you would ask of me? These witches, I'm not sure what we can do about those. I can look into that.
Harac, I have to make a journey, and I might need your assistance with something. Would you be willing to stand by me if I needed your help for protection for my life and for my friends' life?
I would love to say yes, my lady, but I have my duty is to Gryphongaffe first and foremost. She is my first love.
Well, if I can ever change your mind, I'm on a journey, and I feel afraid. So that's all right.
Where must you return to? And if I may be so bold, you seem quite capable, as do your companions. I mean, you did leave that ogre in here in chains. Did you not?
My fear is this is a disease that could spread further than my hand, and my hand is all I have. And if I have not enough hands, then I'm afraid that I will fail, and that my friends will die.
You must trust in yourself and your friends as well.
All right. I feel so without for some reason tonight. I just feel like I've lost something, and I'm not sure what it was.
Well, then, if that is the case, let us drink to that which we have lost. For many of us have lost much over these years and these strange times. With that, he slides your mug of out to you and hoists his own, and raises it in the air so you can clank mugs together.
Cheers.
To that which we have lost, and he downs it at one pull and waves to the servant woman to bring him another and you as well. And he will drink with you for as long as you like, and you can regale each other with tales of things that have been lost and things that have been found.
Sounds good. Cheers to a good night of drinking, moving on, and forgetting the past. Mushroom ale. Shroom ale.
So, Daphne and Kenna, what are you guys up to?
Well, since this seems to be a false memory and I seem to have gained new powers, I'm going to go test them on Agatha. So I'm going to go looking for Agatha.
So, did any of your experimentation involve magic?
Mine?
Yes.
Nothing was so far casting stuff on Borch.
Okay.
More of a experimenting with what I can do with the link.
Okay. So you definitely feel like you could channel magic through that link.
And that's why I want to test on Agatha.
Just like a normal familiar. Okay, so the last thing you knew of Agatha was she was looking for Harac.
I'll suppose I start asking, if people have seen Harac and his lusty maiden.
If you put it that way, they kind of chuckle and look a little askance because they find most would find Agatha most intimidating, and probably would not speak like that to her. But you are directed to the poor man's pub at some point.
Okay.
And by this time, you find Agatha and Harac deep in their cups.
Okay. I'm gonna tell Borch that I want to do a minor experiment. She shouldn't attack you anymore, but this should be interesting to see what happens when you do this to drunk people.
I have a high constitution, lady. Remember that?
And I have to go through your constitution to mess with you.
Yes, you do.
No, I have to go through your intelligence and wisdom.
I like that too.
Anyways, I'm gonna ask Borch to go up and kind of pull on Agatha's, like, whatever happens to be loose fitting on her, and then I'm gonna see if I can channel a light spell through his hands and onto Agatha.
So I think normally what you can do is you can cast, touch spells through your familiar?
Yeah. Light is actually a touch spell.
Oh, is it? Then, okay.
It's a touch spell now.
Oh, yeah, because you cast it on an object. So first off, Borch is like, "Are you sure, mistress? She doesn't like me very much."
If she tries to hurt you, I'll do something hilarious to her, trust me.
She's really big. And
well, you're not going to go fight her, you're just going to get her attention for me, or at least that's how you're going to act. So just go up and act as if you're going to get her attention, and I'm going to test something out.
I trust you, mistress, but he does look like he's walking to the gallows. So he sneaks over, and he examines her after after he's after taking your command, he's like deciphering. You see him trying to decipher the safest way to follow your orders.
I'll try to help him,
And
avoid.
he decides that his best bet is to touch the hem of her cloak from beneath one of the nearby tables.
I sort of I'm like taking my goo eyes off of Harac for a minute in his muscles. And then I'm like, oh, Borscht! And I grab him and I set him on my knee and I'm like, Harac, this is the goblin that we were just talking about.
He looks terrified when you look down.
At that point, whatever he immediately touches, I'm going to try to cast the light spell through him.
Okay. So your cloak immediately bursts into light.
I'm like a light goddess at the bar. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And Borch looks up at you and goes, please don't kill me. Mistress said it would be funny and you would like it. And he just kind of like closes his eyes and turtles up.
I like burst into flame. I'm like, I shall be a queen. No, joking. Well, okay, so I'm gonna be nice to Borsch randomly, and I'm gonna see what he wants. I'm gonna be like, "Look, Harac, it's Borscht, the famous goblin that I haven't killed yet. This is him." And I'm gonna set my shoulder on his my elbow.
Now we know how to make her behave.
Borch looks more scared than he's ever looked before.
And I look at Borscht right in the eye, and I'm like, "Hi, Borscht, what do you want?"
Mistress said I should come over here, and she wanted to try something, and she said it would be funny.
Daff said that, did she? It would be funny.
He bobs his head up and down, his mohawk flying all over the place.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give it to me. What's so funny?
And he kind of like points one shaking hand at your cloak.
And I look at my cloak. I'm like, wait.
As you realize what's going on, Borch seems to have his own realization as well. And he's looking at his hand that he touched your cloak with, and he's looking at your cloak, and he's looking at you, and he's looking at Daff, and his jaw is just kind of like hanging out, and he's drooling a little bit, and he looks very confused.
And I say to Borscht, go get Daff and bring her hither.
At this point, I'm going to use minor illusion on myself and look semi-related to Harac, and run up to him and say, "Daddy!"
I whip out my glaive and kill Borscht. No, I'm just joking.
A small goblin child comes, or not goblin, a small half-orc child comes running up towards the two of you.
Is that Daff? She's in the illusion of a half-orc child?
Well, half-orc, but she's a gnome, so yeah, she's going to look like a child.
Oh my god, how funny. Okay.
And Harac just looks confused, like, I don't have any kids that I know about.
I throw a mushroom at the child. No. I won't. So I'm laughing, and Harac is like, WTF? And I'm like, hey, these are my friends, I guess. I'm like, what's going on? Can you please explain to me what's going on? Utterly confused.
Borch knows magic now.
So, Borch just steps right up to this half-orc child and is just kind of waiting expectantly. And you can just tell, Daff, that he doesn't even need to try to see through your illusion. He just knows where you are.
Yeah. I figured.
Okay.
I'm gonna, undo the minor illusion and have myself a bit of a giggle at Harac's expense. And
he sighs. Gnomes.
Can I at least take a guess as to who this half-orc child is that's coming up to me randomly while I'm having a drink with my man?
Yeah, you can. It actually looks like a mini Harac.
And I'm like, is this your son, Harac?
I have no children that I know of.
So what's going on?
And then as you're pondering that, Daft drops the illusion.
And I see Daff now.
And you see Daff where the
I'm like,
half-orc child was.
I knew it, you sneaky bitch. I knew it. I'm like, come sit by me right now. Nerd. I'm going to sit you and Borch next to me at the bar with Harac, and I'm going to make you feel super special. Randomly.
You'll have to catch me first.
Oh,
I cast invisibility on myself.
I've got +10 to speed, baby. Try to run away.
So
can't catch what you can't see.
So Borch is sitting, sitting with you guys, very confused. Harac looks equally confused and asks, "Are they always like this?" And Borch kind of just like shrugs, puts his hands up, and kind of nods his head. His big mohawk's bobbing all over the place.
And I will look. Nice one back. That was lovely. We're all drinking and getting drunk, okay? That's accepted here at this table because it's a good night. I look at Harac and I say, I like grab her, like Borch's mouth, and I'm like, he kidnapped little children and was stolen as a slave, and now he's my minion friend. And I pat his head. And this is my friend Daff. I love them both.
Yes, but I'm invisible.
Wait, you're invisible? I thought I could see you.
No, she turned invisible.
Yeah.
She's invisible now.
Yes.
I'm like, well, she's here, but she's invisible.
I cast invisibility on Borch.
Wait, so now Borch is invisible? I'm gonna be like, Harac, do you want to go back to the hotel? So I think this night needs to end.
So something interesting just kind of happened.
Okay.
When you cast invisibility on yourself, you disappear. Then you go to cast invisibility again on Borch. That is a second concentration spell, which would require you to end the concentration on your invisibility.
I thought it lasted for like a minute before it went poof.
You can probably only cast it at one object at a time, not two.
Invisibility,
like when you cast it on
action, concentration up to 1 hour. Okay,
yep.
So I can only okay.
But
so yeah, I don't cast on Borch.
But
yeah.
Well, you said you did. So here's what happened. He disappears as well. You do not reappear, and you hear him whisper, "I feel weird in my belly." And as a trained mage, when you hold your concentration, it's you're taught to like kind of like feel the sensation of holding the spell. And he's subconsciously holding a spell for you.
Right.
So whenever you cast a concentration spell at this point, you can have Borch hold one concentration for you.
Awesome. I'm going to explain to him what the funny feeling in his tummy is.
Oh, so you basically made him nauseous by wanting to make him invisible, but you couldn't do it?
He's concentrating subconsciously.
While I'm bouncing him on my knee.
Yeah, so now he's
nauseated.
So with that, Kenna would have been wrapped up at the church. Things are quieting down for the night. They thank you for your service, and come back anytime you want. You're welcome. And if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.
That too. Have a lovely night.
And with that, where will you head?
I'm gonna head to the pub with the intention of getting a drink, not knowing that my friends are causing shenanigans. there.
Okay.
Then, oh, I have. I think I'm more drunk than my character is.
So you arrive to the spectacle of Borch standing next to a small half-orc child that looks a lot like Harac, who he's standing in front of, and then the illusion goes away, and your friend Daff is there. Then she disappears. Then Borch disappears, and at this point, like, a crowd is starting to form around them.
Okay.
I'm really tempted to just walk right back out.
I'm like, Kenna, get over here. I like scream your name. I'm like, oh, Kenna.
I'm coming. What is going on in here?
I'm like, we're having a good time. We are bonding with Borscht. Hashtag bonding with Borch. That never happens, so you should just stay, right? That's interesting. I'm not trying to kill Borch. That's what I'm trying to say to you, Kenna. Keep up. And I'm just fucking with you, so you're like,
all right, as long as there's not a fight going on.
No fighting. All love tonight. I forgot my barbarian background, so I'm like, woo! I'm like a new hippie chick, basically.
Dave, I'm gonna have Borch join me up on top of the bar, and then I'm going to undo the invisibility spells and use prestidigitation to make sparks fly everywhere in a pretty sparkly fountain entrance.
We are having a hallucinatory freaking dungeon right now. We are in a bar hallucinating because we have forgotten our past.
Harac just puts his head in his hands and begins shaking it. What have I gotten into?
Women, buddy! Woo!
Then I'm gonna calm down and ask the bartender for a drink.
What's his name? Tom?
Tom.
Tom. Yeah, Tom is cool. We like Tom.
I'm gonna ask him for more of what he gave me earlier.
Tom's got to know something. He's a bartender. We ought to get more familiar with Tom.
So, he gets you your drink, asks you if you want one for Borch or not.
I'll ask Borch telepathically.
Get Borch drunk. That'd be so funny.
He absolutely would like a drink.
Okay,
He's been having a really strange day and a half.
I bet he would. Poor little Borch. Wasn't he like the king of his clan and we took him and made him a little minion?
He was not really. I mean, like, he was under the ogres.
So he was like a lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be accurate.
So he's living in hell right now around a bunch of women. Hasn't had alcohol in like a week. He is jonesing. Get him a beer right now.
Actually, I think Borch is actually pretty. He's pretty happy about his circumstances so far. He's been eating well. He's been sleeping in warm places.
Right.
No one's tried swatting at him in a while. I mean, you've threatened to a lot of times, but you don't actually beat him like the ogres have in the past.
Oh, his time is coming. But yes.
I'm going to make a sparkle fountain in a drunken haze, make a sparkle fountain appear out of Agatha's head.
Kenna and I are like, woo! Sparklies!
Oh no, we just lost Megan.
Hashtag sparklies. Oh no, she said in the chat that she was having some lag going on.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
Curses.
what was going on there.
So with that, Harac begins trying to rein you guys in and calm you guys down, and politely asked if you guys could stop making such a spectacle.
We're like, all right, fine. There she is. She's coming back now.
And she's returned.
Oh, wait, I have this spell.
And
I'm going to point my finger at Harac and use the cantrip message that Agatha really likes you.
Wait, you're gonna tell Borch that I like him?
No,
No,
Harac.
Harac.
Or Harac? Oh, you're gonna let him know that I have a crush on him?
I think he already knows.
Like
Yeah.
wedding ring
They,
crush.
they've been. Whoa, that's serious. They've been
I
hanging.
don't get married, okay?
They've been hanging out and pounding beers together for the last couple hours. So Kenna, you get invited over to the Harac invites you over to the table with them, and is hoping that maybe you're the calming influence upon your friends.
Please get Kenna a beer too. She needs to hang out with us because this is important. Mushroom ale, please. The shroom ale, please.
So Harac says he pointedly turns to Kenna. He's almost like he's trying to like pull things back together and quiet the settle the table back down. So Agatha has been telling me you guys have to travel soon. And frozen again. Internet. Maybe not.
Can I use alcohol to see if I can spike up Harac's hair into a mohawk?
He does not have much hair, so you will not be able to spike it up into a mohawk.
I can give him a faux hawk then. It's kind of like a
Megan
mohawk
says
with
she's
more.
lagging really hard and can't really understand what's going on. So, Megan, can you hear me?
So internet issues. Well, we're getting close to. We're getting really close to that time anyway. So
Oh,
We'll wrap-
I'm sorry.
we will wrap it up right here. Hopefully next week, everyone's internet will be going strong. Sounds like we're all underwater. Bummer. But this is right around the spot. I figure we're going to stop anyway. So we'll probably start off with you guys, heading out either to the lodge if you wanted to visit the Pixies, or straight to the village you guys had passed through with the antidote. So
Okay.
we will be back same time, 7 p.m. Eastern time,
Woo.
over on Wednesday next week. So hopefully you guys will come and join us again. Thanks everyone who's been watching. Thank you ladies for hanging out with me and let me run for you. It's a blast. You guys are great. So until next time, everybody, stay nerdy.
Bye, everyone.
Stay
Thanks,
nerdy.
Dave.